We are a bunch of wild and crazy Cleveland Browns fans, bringing you all the latest in Browns news. Tune in now. Hey! Thursday night, we are the Fanatical Elfz. There's Lou, there's Steve, there is Sam. A bunch of wild and crazy dudes here. We got a game coming up Thursday or Friday. Thursday coming up Sunday. We've already convinced ourselves that we're going to run all over the New York Giants.
Friday,
what?
Saturday.
Yeah, Sunday. I can't do the math. I'm just, I got this headache, earlier, so hopefully the headache will go away. But guys, welcome tonight. Lou, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. How about you?
I love hanging out with you, Lou. I'm looking forward to maybe hanging out.
You're the only one.
No, so Lou and I are going to the game on Sunday, and I think where are we going to meet up on West 6th? Is that
West 6th? We'll be down there, West 6th. Yeah, right in front of the Barley House. I told a couple coworkers that too. I guess that we had a meeting today at my regular job. I'm not allowed to say where I work.
You have a regular job?
Yeah, they pay me to show up and everything. It's pretty cool.
All right. Well, you and I'll have to talk to you off air because I got to know where are we now? Isn't it on West 6th? There's a place called Johnny's, right? Isn't there like a restaurant?
I believe so. Yeah, there's like a restaurant, but we're usually where you at from there. Where I go there is there's like a setup in front of the Barley House where they have the band playing and they have like food trucks and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's
right
usually that's usually where I go into. We get the you have to have your ID to get in.
Okay.
Because they serve beer but the food, because the food trucks have pretty good food. I like eating.
They do.
I like that.
Well, I'm looking forward to that Sunday. It's going to be great. It's going to be hotter than hell here. The forecast here in Columbus, it's like 91. Now it's going to be cooler in Cleveland.
It's going to be like 82 that afternoon.
Yeah.
You're going to be downtown in front of the lake. So
I guess I'll wear some shorts. But I don't want to deal with the midges. You said you didn't deal with them last time, but we had a few on our side of the.
What do you got against little people?
Midges.
Oh, midges. Oh, the little bugs. Oh,
yeah, bugs. Yeah, the bugs that are annoying as hell at Cleveland Browns Stadium. But when we get that dome in Brook Park, we'll be happy.
Will do to you. I don't understand that. Jeez.
Listen, there's a whole story behind that, but I don't really want to get into it because that wouldn't be good for business.
The show's going off the rails.
Sam, how are you?
Fine. I mean, it's hotter. It's like 99, I think. It's been almost 100 degrees for the past few days, which is annoying because it was like mid 70s for a whole week there. So hopefully it gets cooler, but I'm just waiting for the Browns. College football's in a few days. That'll be fun. So
who's your
Georgia's
favorite
number
2,
team, which is weird to see.
Who's your favorite college team?
I have Michigan State as my favorite college team.
Yes, you've mentioned that before. And that happened because you live in Texas?
No, it happened because that was the team little kid me decided looked coolest, and so I decided to become a fan of them.
I love it.
I was like 6 years old. I'm like, you know what? I like their logo. I'm going to be a lifelong fan of this random college. I should have picked Texas, but
yeah, this year.
At least I'm not an A&M fan. I mean.
Yeah. I was going to say not SMU, not Southern Methodist.
No. Steve, hello. How are you doing?
Good evening. And by the way, come meet John and Lou out in front of the Barley House this Sunday before the game.
Yes. Sorry. Tell us what you really
help. We'll sign autographs. We would love to do that. Sherry,
get your picture taken.
Show up there, Sherry, and people will come and we'll all give people our autograph. It's going to be worth millions not millions, hundreds and thousands of dollars. So don't miss out.
Pennies.
Yeah. The folks from the Fanatical Elfz are
pennies on the dollar. Pennies on the dollar. Well,
as you could tell, I'm not in Nashville, who had its 67th day of 90 degrees or more.
That's a lot.
Today in Nashville. The record is 99, set in 2019, and I think they'll break it.
You think we're gonna break it still down there? Okay.
In Nashville, yeah, I think so, because it's supposed to be 90 tomorrow, 90 on Saturday, and 90 on Sunday.
Gets hot in the South, man. I remember when I lived in North Carolina. Whew, brutal.
Yeah, where were you in North Carolina when you lived there, Lou?
I was outside of Raleigh.
Okay. Sherry says she's going to be there. Okay, Sherry,
there you go. You get to meet John, Lou, and Sherry.
Wow, this is going to be
not me. I'm like the entire northern part of the United States away. Yes. I'll be there in spirit, though.
Yes, Sam.
Well, here's the deal, folks. On Sunday, Steve and others will be doing a pregame show. Sam has agreed, hopefully, to do a postgame show.
I'll try. We'll see.
Rain or shine. We all, are hoping for the shine.
We're getting into tornado season. Who knows? My house might get launched 10 miles back there.
Lou and Sherry and I are going to be at the game, but I think we'll try. At least I'll try to pop on probably for the post game show. I don't know if I'll make it for the pregame because Lou and I are going to be partying at the Barley House. No, we're not doing that, Lou.
No. I don't drink. I don't party. I hang out.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. I don't drink. You guys want to drink? Go ahead.
Lou, I don't. I'm not that. I go to these places
on my 20s was different, but I'm in my 50s now. I don't do that anymore.
Lou, I'm right behind you. I'm right next to you. I'm
yes.
Yes, you are.
I've tried going to these places. There's a couple. What?
This guy.
No, but you go into these places and you see all these people and like they're our age too, Lou, and that's like
they're drunk. They're drunk at 10 a.m. I'm like,
oh, they are, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, you're not gonna have any fun. You're gonna be asleep by 12.
Yeah. There was a guy last year's Titans game that passed out behind me. He was just out. He was just out. He had some food. He was drunk, and he was just out. It was like we were like, I guess he's okay.
At least he had some food
when they try and watch AFC North football.
Yeah, it was Tennessee Titans.
Trying to watch AFC North football.
That's what it is. Just fell asleep. But yeah, I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me to get that schnocker to go to a game. It just doesn't.
Not to change the subject, but to continue the subject with putting people to sleep. Have you guys heard of Johnny Paycheck? I know you guys. I'm sure, right? You guys know who Johnny Paycheck is. I never knew this.
The country music?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, of course. I live in Nashville, Tennessee.
I
figured, Johnny.
Well,
take this job and shove it.
Take this job and shove it.
He's one of the Bakersfield country music stars.
Okay, Bakersfield,
California. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I listened to all of his songs, his top songs from the past. He was big in the 70s, and I was trying to drive, and it was putting me to sleep. But then there's this song about I'm the hell for you, mom, or something. There's some song about hell and being hell for his mom. So that was kind of a fun song too. But all right, I just thought I'd ask that random question. I had somebody at work. I had somebody at work asking me, like, telling me about this Johnny Paycheck, and I thought he was pulling my leg. I'm like, "There's a guy named Johnny Paycheck. Come on!" And then lo and behold, I was like,
"Yeah." And then Bakersfield, California. Merle Haggard. Who's the other one? Dwight Yoakam.
Dwight
Yoakam.
Yeah. Well, I felt like a moron. So there you go.
Okay.
No. Not that I don't feel that way every day, but okay. So let's get into this. Browns play the New York Giants. Sam's got by the way, his podcast just is on Apple right now. Just put that on there. So make sure to listen to Sam's Browns breakdowns. Lou's had his shows this week. Also, make sure that if you haven't listened to our Stirring the Pot show, he also has his wrestling podcast that was just aired yesterday. And
which one?
The wrestling one.
Yes, that aired yesterday.
And you got the Burning River Browns talk coming up Friday. Is Sherry joining
tomorrow night? Sherry will be joining me tomorrow night at 9 p.m.
Okay, and then Steve, he had his Dog Pound South podcast. Very good. We love the fact that you're listening to us here on the Fanatical Elfz Network, Apple, Spotify. We're watching us on YouTube because we're so handsome. Facebook.
Yes, we are.
You guys really, I mean, we are a rare group here. We're just that good looking. So thank you.
Devastating.
All right. So Let's talk about where's Coop. He was in the presser today. They talked to him about what's going on, and he did acknowledge that this is something that's different for him. And I know some of us have written about it already. It is different in his 10th year in the league. He hasn't had a start quite like this. He's had stretches where he's gone away or didn't show up for statistically, but to start the season off this way has surprised some, but it's 2 games in and the Browns haven't had a lot of offense. Where do you all fall? Let's start with Steve. Where do you fall with Coop, and are you worried about it, or do you feel he's going to have a good game on Sunday?
I'm not worried about it. He's professional. Like you said, 10-year veteran. Just a little out of sync with this new offense, just like everybody is. You can see Jerry Jeudy getting more confident last game. You can see Elijah Moore getting more confident last game. He's going to need to step up. I don't think David Njoku is going to play again, which is fine. It's the Giants. I don't want to take any NFL team lightly, but let's just get him healthy. So I'd like to see a little rhythm with Cooper. I don't force the ball to him. If it's there, take it. If it's not, move to the next wide receiver.
Yeah. Sam, what do you think about Cooper?
I think Cooper isn't having a problem. I think Deshaun Watson's having a problem. I don't think he is getting the opportunities he needs. Personally, I think that if Deshaun Watson was throwing 300, maybe not 300, but like 250, 260 yards, like 28 completions and 2 or 3 touchdowns, he'd have much better statistics. It's just that he's trying to spread 180 yards between 6 different receivers. It's really hard for anyone to get more than 30 yards if 6 different people are competing for the total. I think I don't think it's all on Deshaun Watson. There's definitely something up. I don't know what. He's getting older. That's just a fact. The NFL is not getting any older. Everyone's getting younger at the moment. And so I think he's older, but I think Deshaun Watson is not helping the situation right now.
Lou, what do you think about that? And I guess the other question I have for you, Lou, and maybe we can figure this out on air later on. I'd like to know statistically what Deshaun Watson has done with Cooper just in the games that the 2 of them have played together, because they haven't played together many games, and I just like to see what
not for a while. No, not for a while. I'm just noticing that there's a trend in the NFL where a lot of NFL offenses are just not quite there yet. They're all off, and they're starting off slow, including other quarterbacks. So part of it is Watson, but I think I honestly think that Cooper didn't. He also didn't practice much, as well as didn't get the game reps either. I think he needs to practice, get the game reps, and just get out there and just and work through it. That's what I think has to be done. So I'm not necessarily saying it's part Watson, part Cooper, part the whole offense. We started seeing things get right this last week, and I think you're going to see it get right even more. And I think Cooper's going to have a much better game, because they're going to try to get him involved. I think he needs the boost. He needs a confidence boost.
I think you want to see it, right? I think it's a home game, Lou. I think we're going to hear people, Coop, get that first catch. It'll start firing up folks. And
there was the one drop that was just uncharacteristic of him. It's just I don't know. And then there was another one. There was a play against Dallas where it was obvious the defensive back hit him early and they didn't call it.
There have been a couple of those where he did get hit, or I agree.
You're not going to get every call. It happens. We just play through it.
So injuries, let's just shift gears here. Conklin and Wills, are we hearing that they're going to both be in the game Sunday? Anybody want to go on that?
Conklin did another full practice today.
Yeah, but not Wills.
Wills was limited again today.
Okay.
So I expect Jack Conklin to play. I really
DeJuan Jones practiced today too, I heard.
Yeah, he was limited as well.
So we think Conklin will play, but Wills won't.
No, I got a feeling it's going to be James Hudson again.
Our favorite. And I don't want to see Batonio get a penalty or anything like that. this week either. That was odd. Wasn't that odd last week when he picked up a penalty? Wasn't he called for holding Batonio?
Yes.
I think he was called for a holding
it's
call.
Just these offensive penalties are ridiculous. 10 out of the 11 the first game, 8 out of the 13 the second game on offense. It's ridiculous.
So is that a problem with the Browns, or is it a problem with the league, or what?
Right now, it's a problem with the Browns. I mean, the offensive line has been a little bit of a revolving door.
Yeah.
They got not enough preseason reps like they're used to, so it'll work itself out. The coaches, they really need to crack down on this crap, and just it starts in practice, and we'll see what happens this week during the game. But they just, that fourth quarter, they just kept shooting themselves in the foot.
Oh.
I mean, they couldn't do anything.
Was it 3 straight plays or something that they went backwards? It was like a.
Do you think they were blown up, like they were gassed, and that's why?
Well, it was hot and humid. It's Florida in September. I heard one of the announcers saying, "Well, it's raining and it's hot and humid," and I just said, "Well, welcome to Florida in September."
Yeah,
yeah, they were missing a few crocodiles, but they were close.
Yeah,
alligators, I guess.
It's another swamp ass game, is what it was.
This week listening to Stefanski, and then I don't know if you guys ever watch those videos when they go back and they kind of show some of the things that happened, like the audio
breakdowns.
Yeah, and then it's like some of the audio that the NFL Films probably does. And there was I thought it was kind of cool to after the first touchdown with Watson, it showed Stefanski on the sideline really hyped up and really. I mean, by the way, Stefanski, not that I care, but it looks like he's been working out, like but he was all like really, I mean, he was showing some life as far as his being the head coach. Sometimes he's quiet and reserved and you just don't know, but he was really excited when Watson scored that touchdown.
Well, that was a hell of a drive.
Oh, it really was. I mean, I think I was like him. I mean, I was standing around like all you guys, was like, this is amazing. Like, it's an 8 or 9 minute drive. It's play number 16, and they went the length of the field.
Almost 90 yards.
Yeah, very impressive. But it's nice to see Stefanski do that. It's interesting to see how these coaches are different. Like, you watch Stefanski and you see his press conference, or you see him in the locker room, and then you compare that to somebody like the coach that's in Tampa Bay. What is his name? The older guy. Bulls. And he spoke. Do you see his his locker room speech? He got some. It was shown around the national media sites a little bit after the game on Sunday, and he just very much more quiet, reserved. I think anyway, I just thought it was interesting just to see the contrast in coaching in a locker room. So any thoughts on any of that?
Well, each have different. In Nashville, Brian Callahan spent the last 2 weeks throwing his quarterback under the bus.
Oh,
deservedly so.
Okay, but
who
like I said,
Tannehill?
When he was
Tannehill?
No, it
was
Will Levin.
Like when
he was
Kentucky, the Kentucky.
Like I said, when he was drafted, John, he's not an NFL quarterback.
Okay, even so, but like I think I sent that to you guys in that group chat. I mean, his comments after the game. His dad is what? Bill Callahan, right?
Yep.
This is Brian, and I don't know, just watching and listening to Bill Callahan here in Cleveland and other places. I would never in a million years think that he would throw a player under the bus like he did his quarterback. I mean, he said some stuff. I'm like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was like, dude, you can tell him that, but don't put that out there on the presser. That's over the line, in my opinion.
He basically called him an idiot.
He did.
He
said that was just dumb. He's stupid for doing that. And I'm like, okay, you can be whatever you want as the coach behind closed doors. But and Lou, I know you did professional wrestling and all that stuff, but there's some things that you just don't do. So that really bothered me.
You mean like by him calling him out like that?
Yeah, go back and I don't know if I don't have the exact quote.
Brian Callahan saying about his quarterback.
Yeah, really? It was because you would never in a million years see any other. I'm sorry, it was the first time I can
never
recall.
see Stefanski do that. I know.
Oh no, and I can't remember a coach ever, Steve, saying it the way that he did. Is what I'm getting at.
Well, you got to look at the situation. I mean, Will Levin did cost him 2 games. I mean, they were killing Chicago until that pick 6 at the end. And they had an opportunity to score and take the lead over the Jets, or at least tie the game. And the guy throws does a pitch back as he's going down. I mean, what you expect a coach to say
Jets scored a touchdown.
Okay.
What you expect a coach to say was he's trying to win the game, and I am not going to complain about the effort. Instead of Callahan goes, he made stupid moves during game time in critical situations.
He lost. He said he lost. That's what he said. He lost us that game. That's what he said.
He lost us that game. But what do you expect from a guy who puts mayonnaise in his coffee?
He puts mayonnaise in his coffee? What a moron. I'm sorry.
Who does that? Who does that?
Wait, this is you're talking about the quarterback.
The quarterback. Oh.
I was gonna say,
where did that come from? How did
that was a story last year, right?
Still does it. Yeah. He's got a cologne out that's mayonnaise based.
Well, good for him.
All right. Well, let's talk about some other stuff. Let's get back to the Brownies. Run game. What do you expect to see Sunday with the run game? Lou, you want to start?
Yeah, I just kind of stepped on you a little bit there. Sorry. I expect to have. I'm going to say combined because it's going to be by committee, but I would not be surprised to see a combined game of 120 yards rushing in this game. I could see them wanting to go out and run the ball, having Zach Zinter come out, having Nick Harris come out. They're going to come out in these sets, do the motions to loosen up the box, and just pound at these guys and just pound them into submission. I could see that happening. I'm not. You know what the thing is? I don't care about the only stat I care about as a fan is W's and L's. I don't. Watson could throw for 100 yards and we still win. I'm fine. So that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, but I saw some stat, and I can't recall again. I can never recall these things, but I don't know if there was some stat that talked about Watson, and he's already in some statistical category in the top 10, or top 12 or something. It was promising that people would be surprised that not that he's doing all these things great. The good thing is there haven't, knock on wood here, we haven't had turnovers, right? He didn't throw an interception, right? So, I mean, all right. Yeah. So, but the run game,
last week he didn't.
Now, Sam, Sam, the run game, do you suspect Foreman or Ford first to get the start, and who's going to have the most carries?
I think Ford is going to get it because of his contributions last year at the start. Okay. I don't think there's going to be a quote starter. I think it's going to be a split load. I don't think technically there's always a starter, but I think this is closer to just like a split, like 50-50 between the two. I think Foreman's going to have more carries, but I think it's going to be pretty similar. I think the run game is going to be actually pretty decent, though. I think that's a better spot on our team right now, considering our quarterbacks.
Yeah. The Foreman, I was looking at some of Foreman's stats. He had a decent year a year ago, and then the year before that he was in Carolina. He just under 1,000 yards rushing. I'd really like to see him get more than he had 14 rushes. I think we talked about this earlier in the week, Lou, and maybe he can get. I would like to see them give the ball to Foreman more than Ford, and give Foreman maybe 16 to 18 carries on Sunday. Steve, what do you think about that?
I think they're going to come out in that heavy set again with Nick Harris and Zach Zinter in the backfield.
Yeah.
Even though Foreman averaged only 3 yards a carry, he really punished the Jaguars' defensive line, and he kept Jerome Ford fresh because he was running the ball more.
Yeah.
So you got to remember last week against Washington, the Giants gave up 215 yards and 35 carries, an average of 6.1 yards a carry. So
that's a good stat there. He's the winner chicken dinner today. Yep.
There you go. So just run. Run
the ball, Kevin. Run the ball, Kevin.
I'll be screaming that up in section 544.
I'll hear you from across the stadium.
Yeah, you're going to hear me.
I'll be the one I'll be hearing
jumping
John.
up and down above the Meyer sign. So you're looking at the Meyer sign. I'm right in row 3. I'm standing up there yapping my head off. It's funny because I was doing that the other game, and people were turning around, and they were actually supporting me this time. They weren't telling me to sit down and shut up. So. I don't love Foreman, but I agree. I mean, he didn't have a lot, and his numbers weren't spectacular on his averages, but you can see it, right?
Yeah.
That he can bust one, he can bruise, and he can, cause some havoc, which he's not Nick Chubb, but he's a strong, and he's bigger than Kareem Hunt was. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. God, for God's sakes, Kevin, please don't bench Foreman. If he's just going to go with Ford, you'd like to see, like Sam says, at least be, distribute the ball between the two of those guys. Fine with me. And I was surprised they started Foreman, not like you said, Sam. It's not like there's a starter, but they actually, statistically, they started Foreman, which
they handed it off to him right away. They committed to the run in the first drive. It was beautiful.
Didn't that surprise? It surprised me when I said, "Oh shit, that's Foreman out there."
A little bit. Yeah, it did. I was going to say this because I kind of expected the offense to go out and do better and run the ball, because that's just what Stefanski's mostly his MO is mostly. And I said, okay, they're going to get back to the bread and butter and basics. And the thing is, I was going to make a point to Steve, was Jacksonville's defense. They have a good run defense. They do have a good. Yes. We ran the ball on them. We had a very good game. So I'm like, we should be able to run the ball on New York.
Absolutely. You said 236 yards, Steve.
215 yards rushing
against Washington.
Yes.
The
Giants did.
Wow.
And that's
they also allowed 226 yards passing. The rookie Jaden Daniels or Jaden Darden was 23 of 29 in passing.
Yeah. And he came up with a couple big plays late.
Yeah.
Had a 35-yard pass.
8 yards a pass against the Giants secondary. So you can find all these stats and more in my preview article, which should be coming out Saturday on Fans First Sports Network.
I love it. Love it. Awesome. I love it. Okay. Let's pause for a quick break here on the Fanatical Elfz. I've been trying to repost things. That's why I keep looking down here. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back after these quick commercials. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks, Mike. I like that take.
Mike K is awesome. Mike, thanks for watching us. Mike is a great guy. I've mentioned Mike before. I believe, Mike, do you live up in Canada? I think he lives and he does broadcasts for hockey. He does hockey broadcasting. Great voice. And just has been a lifelong Browns fan. I got to meet him. I don't know, Mike. I don't know when I connected with you a few years back, but thanks, Mike, for supporting us here on the Fanatical Elfz Network, part of Fans First Sports. We're growing by leaps and bounds. We've added Sherry to the group. Yes, we are. Broadening our horizons, and she had a great show last night called the Breezy Browns Talk, I think. Yeah. Breezy Browns Talk. She had a guest on that she's known for a while, and he's a lifelong Browns fan, and they were talking about their fandom and how they became Browns fans. Sam, how did you become a Browns fan? Remind everybody, you live there in Texas. How did you, because you're a Michigan State football fan, how did you become a Browns fan again?
Michigan State came first. But I became a Browns fan because I liked Baker Mayfield, and they just kind of stuck.
That's a good reason.
Yeah.
Now, do you still like Baker? Do you like Baker from afar?
I don't really follow him anymore. I don't really care.
Okay.
Well, he's done very well for himself.
He really has.
He's done great. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, I was going to ask you guys, what was I had a follow-up question for you. Okay. So, let's just talk about on both sides of the ball here, what the Browns need to do on Sunday what do they need to improve on both sides of the ball to make sure that we get the W, because we're all coming into this game saying the Giants suck, and we're just going to run right over them. But just to remind everybody, offensively, neither one of these teams is, they're not ranked real high right now. If you look at the NFL statistics for offenses, both the Browns, actually the Giants are above the Browns statistically as far as a ranking offensively. So they have a slight edge offensively over the Browns right now in certain statistics that way. So it's not going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a barn burner, but what do we need to do to improve? Let's talk offense first. Lou, you want to start us off? What are some things that we can do offensively?
Well, yeah, cut down on penalties. Let's start there. Too many penalties. Clean it up. That's the best thing we can do. Just don't get behind the sticks and just, get those positive plays on first and second down, make it third and manageable, and just open it up.
Okay. Steve?
On offense, run the ball. Protect Deshaun Watson. The Giants have a fairly good defensive line. Their pass rushers are Burns and Thibodeau. Also,
Thibodeau. I like Thibodeau.
Yeah, Kenyon Thibodeau. A lot of Browns fans liked him coming out in the draft.
Yes.
Basically, that's it. Just use the run to set up the pass. Get Deshaun in a rhythm. That's all you need to do. You get Deshaun Watson in a rhythm. That's it.
My caution
have a complete game.
Well, that's what I worry. Just going into this, I think this is where I get in the psychology of things. Like with Deshaun, they got to win. It was a good win. Browns won. But Sam's podcast today, his title was, "Well, we won the game, but did we really win?" And I thought it was an interesting title.
What did he mean by that?
Yeah, Sam, well, I'll let Sam. Do you want to explain that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I kind of just, that was just my thoughts. I kind of just threw them out there. I mean, we'll see. On what Lou said there, penalties are definitely a problem, by the way.
Yeah.
We had 100 yards on.
Yes.
Was it 12 penalties for 100 yards, or was it
11,
a little more?
11 or 12.
It was a lot. It was way too many. And I said that if any team other than the Jaguars, you get 100 yards of penalties, you're losing that game. That was just a bad game by the Jaguars. That whole NFL week was bad. Just around the globe, I
Even
guess.
your Cowboys, I have Cowboy fans that were going, "What the hell? Why did we lose?"
Cowboys was a crazy game, and I got to watch it live on normal TV. That was fun.
Oh my gosh!
But the Cowboys fans have actually, or at least my radio people, have taken it pretty well. They're already moved on. Just kind of crazy. Are the Saints good? Do we think the Saints are going to actually win 10 or 11 games?
They're off to a really hot start right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
some of them are saying they're going to win the whole NFC right now if the 49ers can't figure out their stuff.
I don't think I think they'll come back to, I think they'll fall back a little bit here after
we play them. We play
them
coming off a bye week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
So just getting back to Deshaun and this offense, here's my one little hitch or concern going into this game is that they're coming back home. Deshaun's already I feel like he feels the pressure of, and I know he went down to Jacksonville and he had a nice game. I just worry that there will be boo birds in the stands. And if he throws a couple incomplete passes in this game, which he's going to do, I don't know when it's going to happen, but would that psyche of his come back and would that have an effect on how this game plays out? I'm just speculating here. I know I probably shouldn't, but I don't know if they're going to have a 16-play, 89-yard drive. Maybe they have a 17-play, 90-yard drive. That would be even more spectacular to start the game. And I fully expect the Browns to play well and win this game, but I get a little nervous when I think about what I just said. Did anybody else feel that way, or am I totally off? Probably totally off, right, Steve?
I don't feel that way. He's a professional football player.
You should switch to decaf. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it affects him in one way or the other psychologically.
Okay, so if it does happen,
if he was weak-minded psychologically, he wouldn't have played against Baltimore with a bad shoulder and a sprained ankle and completed 13 out of 13 passes in the fourth quarter.
It's just a thing with, I think it's a mental thing sometimes where I feel like he's coming back home, but he knows he's coming back home to fan.
Well, maybe the mental thing is you, John.
It's me? How is it me, Steve?
I don't know.
You're flipping the script on me.
Cleveland fans are just so paranoid sometimes. Just
psychologically.
Now, broken. Steve, you're a little bit. Now, come on. Now, you're not as paranoid as I am, but we all have our. What was I listened to? Rod. It was funny. Rod Bloom, who's our colleague here, who does the Browns Blitz. Thanks, Rod, for contributing here to the Fanatical Elfz. He was commenting, I think last week. I don't know if any of you saw this, but he says on a text or a tweet, he was like, "Well, I didn't wear any Browns gear today." He was wearing like a Cavaliers jersey or something, and so he says, "Does this mean that I have to wear this jersey now, like every game now for the Browns play in, to win?" And people were like, "Yes, you have to do the same thing." You have to.
We're superstitious.
Do you have any superstitions? Yeah. Do you do anything like a regular thing, Steve or Sam or Lou?
I wear the same shirt, polo when it's warm, and I wear a long sleeve brown shirt when it's cold.
Okay.
I never predicted 24-21 again because the one time I did, we lost. So don't expect a 24-21 victory prediction from me ever again.
I also don't do predictions. The last time I did predictions for a season, they went 5 and something, so I stopped doing it.
Yes.
Lou, do you have any things that you do that are
that I do?
Like habits or things that you do every,
we like eat the same thing.
Yeah, or right? stuff like that. Yeah, you do stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eat the same breakfast and do routine stuff.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's just stuff like that. It's
I probably did more of that when I was a kid, but I don't do that as much. Yes, he's a broadcaster for the OHL Brampton.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Mike.
What was the Steel? Is it the Steelheads? Yeah, the Steelheads. Dude, Mike, I got to get one of your jerseys or one of your shirts or sweatshirts from your team. I've looked them up before. I also want to get one from the Toledo Walleyes. You ever heard of them before? Hockey team up there in Toledo. They have a great mascot. The Walleyes.
The Walleyes. What league is that? Is that AHL or no?
I don't know. Steve, Mike, do you know if you're watching? Play it smart. Please, for the love of God, Stefanski, don't be the weakest link on Sunday. Wait.
Christ. All right, let's talk. Yeah. I'm like, God, everybody flips out about play calling.
Let me switch gears, Lou. Let's start with Steve. I want to know about defense. What do we got to do on Sunday to make sure that we win this game? I'll start by saying Myles Garrett, who's been sitting out and kind of nursing his leg, he'll play, we think, even though he didn't practice today. Myles Garrett needs to stay off sides and stay on his side or side of the line of scrimmage and not get called twice like he does it in every game for being off sides. Anything else, Steve?
Stop the run. Last week against Jacksonville, they gave up 127 yards on 21 carries, 6 yards per carry. Nowhere Malik Neighbors is at all times. Last week, Daniel Jones, of his 28 passes, he targeted Malik Neighbors 18 times.
Yeah.
And I
in
think
one game, that's a lot.
I think of the game, and also he goes in motion a lot. Malik Neighbors goes in motion a lot. And when he does catch the ball, I think last week against Watson, he caught 6 out of the 8 targets, went in motion for 115 yards. So I'm interested to see who Jim Schwartz puts on the rookie out of LSU, Malik Neighbors.
That's what I was just going to ask you where he's from, and that's LSU.
Delvin Singletary. Remember that guy for the Houston Texans last year?
Yeah.
Well, he is the starting running back of the New York Giants.
I think I have him on my fantasy league team.
They gotta put a hurting on him. They gotta stop him.
Yeah.
Lou, what do you think defensively?
Defensively, prevent big plays.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that bit us, even though it was Greg
Newsom. Just the one, right? It was just the one play. But
just avoid those big plays because that kind of bit us against Dallas too. So that's my thing.
That's a good point. Yeah, good point. Sam, anything else defensively?
No, I don't really have much. Stopping
the
run is important.
If I took your point, I'm sorry, man.
Lou, you've got you wrote an article. Was that your article about Jeremiah Usa-Kormoa and the trend of wearing
the Guardian helmet? Yeah,
the Guardian helmet.
Yeah.
Do you so check that out on Fans First, everybody. Lou's writes articles along with Steve here. Sam writes for Cleveland Sports Talk. Shout out to them. Let's see.
Also, they're going to have to contain Daniel Jones. When a play breaks down, he takes off running.
Yes.
I think he had 65 yards against Washington. I think he was the second leading rusher for the Giants against Washington. So you got to pressure him. You pressure him, he gets sacked like 23% of the time.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to finally get some turnovers. And the good news is Danny Dimes has turned the ball over 9 times in the last 8 games.
It's good. So, anybody want to give a prediction on the game? I know, Steve, you don't want to. Anybody else want to throw out there? I have a couple more questions before we leave tonight, but anybody else want to throw out a prediction? I'll start if everybody wants to hear my prediction. My prediction.
Go ahead.
Come back to me. Anybody else have a prediction?
All right. You want me to?
Well, yeah.
I think this offense is going to break out, and I'm going to say, I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say 28-10 Browns.
Okay, 28-10. Okay,
I'll take
Sam. What do you like?
I don't have a prediction just yet. I'm still thinking, but I guess if I want to just throw one out there, I'll say the Browns are going to win. I'd be shocked if we didn't, but I'd go, I guess, like 31-10. I think would be it's a little high, but I don't think the Giants have any sort of a good team right now. I think they're just messed up right now, and I think the Browns can utilize that kind of bad team to get a flare going, kind of like light the match for the season. I think so. I think 31-10 wouldn't be unbelievably shocking. Might be a little lower, like 24.
Who's their kicker, by the way?
The Giants.
Anybody
kicker?
know? Yeah, their other kicker got hurt last. They tried out a couple of former Browns. I know that.
I don't know.
No, Jamie Gillum is their punter.
Yes, the Scottish Hammer.
Scottish Hammer.
Yes. Okay, my prediction: 24-13 Brownies. 24-13. You heard it here first.
Okay, you got an 11-point win. I have 18. Okay.
Okay, 24-13. Before we leave today, I wanted to go around the group here and get your takes on a couple of these great guys here that are going to be honored Sunday at the Browns Legends. No, they're not honoring you or me, Lou. I wish they were, but they're.
I wouldn't know why if they did, but I'm all right.
Well, 66 years as a fan.
That's right. Come on, Steve. Yeah,
give me a break.
Absolutely. Well, I was just meaning no, Steve, we're going to be in there. That's all the reason I was just
okay.
I was just saying that we'd be there at the stadium. Okay. Yeah. So shout out to Phil Dawson and Phil We Trust and Jim Donovan, who are both going to be honored. 2 great, one radio broadcaster and a lifelong fan. And then Phil Dawson, who just loves Cleveland. Heard a little bit of his today somebody interviewed him, and he just always so appreciative of the fans in Cleveland and everything. I just wondered if you guys had any memories you wanted to share. I know we have talked about these guys before, but anything that stands out that you think we should honor before we leave the show tonight? Lou, you got something?
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I'll go first. I used to work at WKYC.
Yeah.
And I worked with Jim Donovan. He's a great guy. And one of the things he did for me, I don't know if you knew this or not, but he was I asked him to do me a favor and be my voicemail greeting on my cell phone.
Really?
And he did it. He did it right. It was around 2003, 2004.
I love this.
He did it. He actually was my voicemail greeting. And it's like, hey, everybody, it's Jim Donovan. You reached the cell phone of Lou Marconi.
Oh, that's
Please leave a
fantastic.
message.
That's awesome.
We'll get back to you as soon as possible. And remember, run, William, run. Boom. It was just like, I remember my brother like kept calling my phone. He couldn't believe I got him to do it.
That is fantastic.
He did it. Yeah.
Have you kept it? Did you leave it, or did you?
No, it's gone. It's gone. I should have kept it. I wish I did.
Well, you just didn't know back then, but now you think like, man, if you had that, like,
if I still had that now, I would have kept it because it was Run William Run, because that part got old because after it
right.
But it was right after.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, he was a good guy, really good guy, and I'm actually I became friends with his daughter Megan, and she's been on our show. So
that's Megan Donahue.
Yeah, Megan Donovan. Yep,
Donovan.
Nice.
Oh, I got you now. That makes sense.
Hold on, wrong one. Hang on. Toledo Walleyes are the ECHL. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Another follower of our Fanatical Elfz.
Ah, there you go.
Lou Marconi's. Thank you, Brian. I know you're a huge supporter of our network, and Lou and Sherry and everybody. We really appreciate all of you guys commenting and participating in this, because that's how we grow, and spreading the word, spreading the love that, hey, we are Browns fans just like you. We're not very different. We all say, go Brownies, go, when we're walking down East 9th or East 3rd and going over the bridge.
Here we go, Brownies.
Yeah.
Here we go.
The best moment is, Sam, there's a location where there's a bridge, right? And you go you walk under the bridge, and probably, Steve, you know what I'm talking about. Even the old stadium had this. It was the old, the interstate or whatever. And you go underneath the bridge, and people would start going, go, here we go, Brownies. And it would just echo so much. And it was such a neat, and for somebody who's young, it's like, oh my God, this is so cool. These masses of people. So, Sam, I don't know. Do you know? Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Be right back. Okay. Sam, do you, where do we go? Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was alarming.
Sam, do you have any memories of like Phil Dawson, or like, I don't know if
No.
our former kicker, he was before you became a fan. He's a big, was a huge part of our teams, wasn't he, Steve?
Oh yeah, it started in '99 with the Browns. I believe he scored their first rushing touchdown. Well, my favorite memory is, I believe it was 17 years ago in Baltimore. They're kicking a field goal to tie the game, sent it in overtime. It bounced off the crossbar, then it bounced off the stanchion over the crossbar, and then back in the field. There was mass confusion. All the Baltimore players left the field, and then the referee, it was not reviewable, but the referees looked at it anyway. And I was the Browns backers president. As soon as they said it was no good, I got up. If you're a Browns backer president, as soon as the game over, you got to start packing stuff up.
Right. And
I started packing stuff up, and everybody's moaning and complaining. And this one member comes running out and goes, no. It was good. It was good. Believe me, it was good. Everybody stay here.
Yeah.
And so we just sat and watched it. And then they called it good, went into overtime, and they decided to do something stupid and kick off to Josh Cribbs, who returned the ball past the 50.
Yes.
And before you know it, he's kicking a field goal game winner against the Baltimore Ravens.
It was.
I mean, that was fantastic.
Absolutely. And Steve, to add to that story, because you shared about what happened for you, and I wasn't the Browns backers president then, but I was there with the Wichita backers and stuff. I actually left. I left the bar. It was one of those stretches, when the Browns would lose, and we went through all those years of losing, you would just, you were frustrated because they'd always find a way to lose. And so that moment, I actually left. I got in the car. I didn't turn the radio on or anything. I got home. I lived about 15 minutes away from the sports bar. Got in the house, whatever. People started, I don't know if they were calling me or something, like, and then I was like, they won. I'm like, what the hell? What? We're talking about this game 17 years ago, Lou, when Phil Dawson hit the crossbar and it went on the one side.
Oh yeah, that was against Baltimore.
Yeah. We were talking about our experiences there where It was very frustrating. We thought he had missed it, and then he actually made it. So, Guy, thanks so much for being here on the Fanatical Elfz tonight. And again, these guys have their podcast coming up. Sam's got his Browns Breakdowns. It's on there right now on Apple, Spotify. So check that out. We'll be spreading that on X and Facebook and such. Steve will be having his Dog Pound South show coming up after the game Sunday and the Monday. Lou has his Burning River Browns talk tomorrow night with Sherry. And then Lou and I exclusively and Sherry will be down there at the Barley House signing autographs. So make sure to come by. It's not often you get the Fanatical Elfz out there.
I tell you.
It's so if you're a Browns fan and you love the Fanatical Elfz and you love Lou and you love Sherry, but you kind of like me, but I'm annoying. We still want you to come down. All right, guys. Thanks again. Thanks, everybody.
John can annoy you to your face.
Yes,
this is an opportunity.
You can.
You can't miss out on it.
I'm looking forward to it.
See you, everybody. Go Browns!
Go Browns!